exactly as he left off for the 04 season. Very strong and really been the pace setter.
Just one of the many youngsters that are taking the fight to the master. Jim Richards really is the benchmark still in this category. Another name that comes to mind in a car you know well is Luke Youlden.
Yeah, Luke's done a great job. You know, the guys at VIP will be supplying him a very good car, but I'm sure he's surprised a lot of people up and down the pit lane that, you know, he's come on so strong so quickly. You know, he's done 3 rounds in these cars and he's running right at the front.
Yeah, he's doing a terrific job in that category. Let's go to pit lane now. Here's Mark Howard.
Thanks, Rusty. A first-time pole sitter today in Carrera Cup. Jonathan Webb, a surprise to many in the pit lane. Was it a surprise to you?
I mean, we've been working hard on it for the last few rounds, slowly catching bit by bit. I mean, obviously it's a big surprise, but hopefully a well-deserved one. We've been obviously working at it for a long time.
You did some serious testing miles this week. How did your time compare?
We weren't actually quite as quick in qualifying as what we were here on testing the other day. Obviously, the track's a little bit slower, a little bit dirtier. Everybody seems to be struggling, but no, obviously the time we did was enough to put us on pole, so we're wrapped.
Time now to have a look at the Eastern Creek layout through the high-speed turn 1, one of the trickiest corners on any racetrack in Australia, into turn 2, hairpin. Very fast and flowing nature of the circuit, up through Corporate Hill here at turn 8, into another hairpin. Very hard to get traction and power down, and a flowing onto the front straight. First of all, let's have a look at some highlights of race 1 here. And Webb was actually able to jump Jim Richards. Of course, the young gun qualifying on pole for the first time ever as they all file through turn 1 nice and cleanly here. Webb just covering the inside line there. Actually quite a good start. And Fabian Coulthard slipped up the inside of Jim Richards into 2. Couple of laps into the race. Webb still stretching the lead there. Coulthard running slightly wide, just went in, perhaps out-braked himself slightly onto the marbles of the dirty part of the racetrack at turn 2, very much a one-line corner. This was Luke Youlden, and he had a race-long battle with David Reynolds, the young Formula Ford champion, who slipped up the inside there into turn 2. And look at this, a great effort to Youlden to actually slide back underneath, so Reynolds just went in a little hot. Some great action. These guys went at it the whole race. Now, this was actually Theo Conjuris being turned around by Andrew Luxton. Luxton quite new into the Carrera Cup category, into the turn 8 there, and Jim Richards took the lead. Nice move. Actually quite a strange place to get by. Webb a little slow out of the hairpin, and Jim Richards was cleanly by. And in fact, actually stretched the lead from Jonathan Webb. Webb still quite close there. Now, this was actually Clark Quinn with some massive damage at the front, radiator damage, which would ultimately put him out of the race. And Rodney Jane just spinning on that coolant, very easy to do. Clark Quinn watched Jim Richards take the victory and set a new lap record with a 1:35.18. Jonathan Webb in for second from his fantastic qualifying result. Let's check out race 2 there with one of the in-cars for this race, James Conjuris and Luke Youlden, the young VIP pet foods driver, getting some heat into the tyres. Visor down there. So Jim Richards, out of his win from race 1, will line up on the front row. Jonathan Webb alongside him. Cameron McLean there after testing here early in the week, 5th on the grid, a great result for him. And Luke Youlden we saw alongside Dave Reynolds, also in position number 7. Dean Grant rounding outside the top 12 there. Cars coming into position from race 2 in the Wright Patton Shakespeare Carrera Cup Championship from Eastern Creek. Red lights on. Can Jonathan Webb get away? He actually launched quite early then, but he bogged it down. Jim Richards has got a great start, and Peter Fitzgerald has split the 2. Fabian Coulthard a little slower away as well. Through turn 1, this high-speed corner. Be up to 4th gear now, even off the start line. So into turn 2, where it's very important to block the inside line. And Craig Baird, welcome to the commentary box for this one. You've driven these cars, and this circuit is very, very quick, so that the cars are lapping very close to a V8 supercar time.
Yeah, very, very close. It's one of the circuits that really suits these cars. They're built for big flowing European tracks, and this is one of those sort of circuits, you know, nice and flowing. And a bit of a shame there for Jonathan Webb. Front row start, he bogged it down. He got the, as you said, he got the initial jump, and you know, he's dropped back to about 4th.
Fitzgerald just slotting in behind Luke Youlden there, and Fitzy got an absolute blinder. Cameron McLean there has also moved up. They go round the back here, down the hill. Very easy to actually get the car unsettled. And there's someone off, speaking of unsettled, and look at Clark Quinn. He's having a big moment there too. So there's coolant down, and Borness is dropping a lot of coolant out of the front of that car. That could have been the reason.
Yeah, he's certainly got some broken radiators up the front of that. He's obviously tagged the back of a car in front, and as we all know, the radiators in these cars are very, very fragile.
Absolutely, protruding right over the front wheels of the car. Now Jim Richards is leading this. Coulthard's having a look down the inside. Big move. Very strange place to actually pull off a move without the other car turning in and being contact, but Jim saw him coming and just gave him enough room.
Yeah, very unlike Jim Richards to leave a hole there, but Fabian, he's made use of it, and you'd have to say very, very good passing manoeuvre.
Now this is a replay. There's Borness dropping a heap of fluid from some sort of earlier contact. Everyone's struggling for grip through there. He then drove back online, but there's a classic example of all of that coolant pouring out over the front tyres. Now this is a start from Luke Youlden's car. You can see Peter Fitzgerald launched very well off the line, split loop. Jonathan Webb struggling. He's covering the inside line, and Youlden's trying to go too wide right around the outside of turn 1. Look at him just working the wheel, trying to feel grip there. Shift light on, so pulled up another gear, and he's still on the outside for turn 2, right up behind Fitzgerald.
It's very hard to go around the outside, long way round there, but he's pulled it off.
Great shot out the back of Luke Youlden's car, more at ground level, so you can see the spoiler there up above. The Camry's run wide at turn 1. Now it's a very high-speed corner, as we said. There's a lot of aerodynamic grip working through there, but you can also get a fair bit of understeer. Well, there's two cars. That's Richards and Coulthard. Richards and Coulthard have come together at turn 2. Let's see. Jim's actually struggling to get back on the road, and Coulthard now is very, very slow. He's got some sort of damage there, I'd say.
Yeah, Coulthard's car certainly looks wounded. Jimmy's back onto the circuit, running again.
Oh, I think there might be another contact. Yeah, Mark Cheney there has actually spun around. That's just out of there, and we can see that's Fabian just at the top of the shot. So I wonder whether...
Fabian was travelling slowly there, so I wonder whether he's hit the back of Fabian's car.
Fabian Coulthard's out, so this is going to hurt him in the champion. Here's the replay. Jim's come straight down the inside. Fabian's now starting to move across. Bang! Fair bit of contact in the back wheel area, and looks like the back wheel, yeah, there's definitely suspension damage.
Yeah, Jimmy's looked at the opportunity, and the road, it just closed up. The gap's closed. Very, very hard to call who's right, who's wrong. They probably both think they're right. Fabian was trying to park it on the outside of the circuit, get it off the racing line, and obviously never saw a car coming up on his outside.
Jonathan Webb's going to lead them onto the restart. Very slow, you can just see. And now he accelerates, and Luke Youlden's actually missed the kick. This safety car. Oh, and he's hit the brakes. He slowed right up. He was going to overtake the safety car. Nearly a big crash.
Both of those guys very lucky to get away with that. Obviously, Youlden, he's accelerating, and Webby's realised he's come up too quick on the safety car and dabbed the brakes. But yeah, that could have been a big one right there.
Perhaps a little bit of inexperience because Jonathan Webb hasn't really been at the extreme pointy end in this field. He's been in the top 3 or 4 consistently. In fact, driving very well, but wouldn't have led a safety car restart before.
No, he wouldn't have. But we can't forget the fact this guy qualified on pole. He's been the quickest here all weekend, and I think he's doing a fantastic job. I spoke to Paul Cruikshank, Andy McRae earlier in the weekend, and they were wrapped with the way he was testing here earlier in the week. So this guy's got an opportunity here. Let's hope he makes the most of it.
Well, it is his home track, but you're right, this is lifting another level, and a win would do great things for his confidence. There's Jim Richards coming back through the field, so the stewards will definitely have a look at that incident with Fabian Coulthard, part of the rear spoiler missing there. So that was the reason for the safety car. Coulthard's out of the race, but Jim needs to soldier on and just get as many points for his championship chase as he can.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Cameron. Jimmy's he's got to resurrect this race, get some points, think about the championship, and just bag some points.
That rear spoiler there too wouldn't be helping his cause through the higher speed parts of this circuit, particularly turn 1 there. Jim's having a look on the inside. He's just dropped the wheel off there, but look at Jonathan Webb. He's stretched the gap, so he's put his head down on a cold tyre restart, which is not an easy thing to do, and doing a very, very good job. And good to see young David Reynolds up there too. He's right on the back of Luke Youlden, so Reynolds doing a test day recently as well of some 80 laps, and his speed has improved dramatically, and that would be doing great things for his confidence also.
Yeah, look, this is the 3 guys leading this race, first, second and third, that we've been talking about all season. They've all been chipping away at it. They're getting closer and closer, and now they're in the main stage. They're 1, 2, 3 in the race.
Well, Reynolds has been working on his fitness in between rounds, but he's had some big crashes early on, so he's keeping his nose clean and finding some speed as well, so great improvement. See, McLean just drifted back to 6th position there. Peter Fitzgerald's just off the back, so if he can latch on, Luke Youlden, you'd think, will start to drive a little bit defensively, and that should work in Fitz's favour and latch onto the back of Reynolds.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, Youlden's driving a little bit in the mirrors at the moment, which is going to be slowing him up. He needs to concentrate on the back of Webby's car, the blue Porsche up ahead, and try and gap Reynolds a little bit.
Alan Gurr in there as well. You can see Cam McLean, James Cressy, Bryce Washington, and there's Rodney Jane just having a bit of a moment, dropping the right rear off. Down the hill is very easy. There's a concrete strip, but then it drops away quite aggressively if you drop that wheel off onto the dirt. Around through what they call Corporate Hill here. Rodney Jane, nice and consistent. And this is going to be about a 7-car dice very soon. We're on board now with Luke Youlden. Look, David Reynolds is closed right up. He's really nowhere to pass here, though. He just needs to maybe hang off a little bit as he's done and try and get a run onto the front straight.
Yeah, it's one of these circuits that's very, very difficult to pass. Some of these corners that we're looking at now, there's a small sort of right-hand, left-hand kink before you actually take the corner, which makes it one line in and one line out.
He's got a good run onto the front straight, though. He's just in behind, just looking at the inside. I don't think he's going to be close enough, so he's going to have to slot in quite good. See, the car was very neutral coming onto the front straight, not too taily, not too much understeer as well, and very easy to lose front grip through here as well, Craig, if you're sitting too close to that car in front.
Yeah, exactly. You're following the car in front. The rear wing of the car in front's disturbing all the air, and the front splitter's just not getting the downforce that you're normally used to when you're running by yourself.
Jonathan Webb's the quickest man out there with a 35.32 as opposed to Jim Richards' earlier lap record of 35.1. So here's Ian Dyke coming into the pit. So is that some sort of mechanical problem? Perhaps it is. And we're hearing word from the pits he's struggling with some sort of drivetrain or clutch problem. So that's a shame for young Ian Dyke, another one of the young chargers in this championship.
Reynolds having another look at Youlden going into turn 1, but very hard to pass him now. Really, because of the speed, you've got a minimum speed of probably over 200 k's through there, so really only one line.
Luke Youlden's working very hard, though. The more experienced of the two drivers in this category, although he's in for his first full season, he has done more miles. Look at Fitzy up the inside. Reynolds actually run a little bit wide through too, but Fitzy's had to slot in behind, and that's worked perfectly in Luke Youlden's favour. Now he's just had a little bit of breathing space.
That's right. Reynolds got his mirrors full of Peter Fitzgerald there, a man that's driven many laps around here, so if there's a way past, he'll find it.
Let's have a look at Luke Youlden at work there. This is the final lap, and look at Jonathan Webb using that home track knowledge. Great to see the benefits for him of a test day, pole position, and now he's going to have his first race win in this Carrera Cup Championship. Only one of 6 guys to actually claim pole position in the 3 years that this Carrera Cup Championship has been running now, obviously the WPS Carrera Cup, so he's in the record books.
Yeah, I spoke to his mum and dad earlier in the day, and you know, they've put a lot behind this young guy, and he's rewarding them right now. He's got a lap to go, and he's doing a great job out there.
Luke Youlden working hard, just checking the mirror. He doesn't want to make a mistake. So close to the end of this race, but David Reynolds wouldn't be close enough to capitalise on it now, though he's having a big go. You can see his hands working there, and look at the sort of medium corner speed there. He's come out very close, but the start-finish line's approaching. Jonathan Webb takes his first win in the WPS Carrera Cup Championship. A great effort. There's his family and crew on the pit wall. Well deserved. Peter Fitzgerald just sitting there with David Reynolds. So Luke Youlden was second home. Fitzy had a very consistent drive as well, as did Alan Gurr inside the top 5 and Cam McLean. Let's go down to the pits with a very happy team and Mark Howard.
Paul, congratulations. First race win for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our 3rd year of going now, you know, so I hoped it would come sooner, but it's just fantastic. And look, Jono's done a great job, and he's just got better and better every time we've gone out this year. So just a result of a lot of people's hard work, you know. So, like, yeah, it's sort of probably hasn't quite sunk in yet, but yeah, it's pretty good.
I guess the next step now is a round win if you can do well in the 3rd race.
Yep, absolutely. If we can do that, it'll be certainly mission accomplished for this weekend, and yeah, move on. And like, you know, Jono's a real championship contender now, and a lot of people sort of didn't think he had it in him. He was a bit young and inexperienced. But he's just going from strength to strength. It's fantastic.
Congratulations on a great job.
Thanks, Mark.
Fabian, you've been duelling with Jim all season. It's finally ended in tears.
Oh yeah, you know, I can't comment on what's happened. You know, it's just one of those things, and hopefully we can rectify it and see the outcome.
Why can't you comment on what happened? What did happen?
Well, to be honest, I don't really know what happened. I sort of brake where I'd normally brake and turn in where I'd normally turn in, and all of a sudden I've just been collected. So, like, you know, it's one of those things like this happen, and you just have to take it on the chin.
He left a fairly large-sized gap down the inside of him, so I popped into it, and Faber's turned across into the corner. I would say it was just as much my fault as his, so we'll just see what everyone have to say.
Jonathan, congratulations. Tell us about your first race win.
Mate, it's awesome. Really, really good. Been working at it for a long, long time, and got lucky. Jimmy obviously had it coming together with Fabian, which gave us a bit of a jump, and just went from there. So really, really happy.
After the safety car, you got some real distance on Luke immediately.
Yeah, we've had a good car all weekend, and we knew if we just put our head down and went for it, that we could slowly get faster and faster, and here we just pulled away from him.
First race win now. Can you have your first round win, Jonathan?
I certainly hope so. We've had the speed all weekend. I think we can give him a good hard run next one as well.
Ever wondered why there seems to be a lot of damage to the front end of these cars in racing? Well, it's very simple. The radiator sits so far forward, it actually protrudes further forward than the chassis of the car. Now, a Carrera Cup car is a rear engine vehicle, so there's not a lot of room in the back end of the car for a radiator of this size. So keeping it to the front gives more airflow through the front spoiler area, and also keeps a little bit of balance over the front wheels of the car. But if you're actually driving in this series with cars very, very close, just the slightest of nose to tail impact can either rupture a radiator line or damage this whole radiator entirely. That means fluid on the track, and not only for the other drivers, but you can even drive over the same amount of fluid with your rear tyres and end up having a big crash. As we get set for race 3, we've actually seen quite a few incidents already this weekend, Craig Baird, where there's been nose-to-tail crashes, and Clark Quinn was caught out earlier and lost a lot of fluid from his radiator.
One of the biggest problems with Porsche radiator, they're actually held in with a plastic clip, so it doesn't take much of a bump to break those clips. Then the radiator leaks, and from there, you're parking it.
Set for a start, red lights on, the revs are rising. And Jonathan Webb slow again off the start line. Luke Yordan's capitalised. Peter Fitzgerald's got an absolute belter again. He's up the inside, and Jim Richards is coming around from the outside. So with David Reynolds, Fitzy's nearly touched the back of him, but David Reynolds has capitalised out of this, and he leads for the first time.
Yeah, Reynolds obviously a very good start. Shame for Webby, 2 bad starts. Did all the hard work, won a race, front row start, and he's back in 4th place. He's got some work ahead of him.
Yeah, he is. He's actually quite taily too out of turn 2 there. He's really hassling on the back of Luke Yordan. Yordan's having a run up the inside of Peter Fitzgerald, but look at this start by David Reynolds. Well done. He's cleared out in front. He's a couple of car lengths clear now. There's young Alan Gurr there in behind Cameron McLean, and Bryce Washington leading the next group.
Yeah, Fitzy certainly got a good start there. He jumped a whole row, so he's sitting in a nice spot, 2nd place. He'll be looking to put the pressure on the young fella, David Reynolds. First time he's leading one of these races.
On board with Luke Yordan, coming up over the crest here where the back of the car can get very light into the scissor tooth ripple strip there, through turn 8, hard onto the brakes into the hairpin. He's closing the gap up to the back of Peter Fitzgerald. Everyone blocking the inside liner. I mean, that is on the early stage of the race pretty much the only place to try and make a pass.
Yeah, well, it takes some time to get their tyre pressures and temperatures up, and until that happens, the cars don't have a lot of grip in the front, because obviously all the weight of the car is in the back, so the cars tend to understeer, or what we call push, for probably 1 or 2 laps into the race.
Jim Richards and Fabian Coulthard are making their way through, and this is going to be an interesting thing to watch, because not only have they run into each other, they're both starting towards the back of the field. Coulthard getting set to fly out tomorrow to go and have a test in Germany as a preliminary to his round of the Carrera Cup Championship over at Silverstone. So he'd be disappointed. He'd like to get on the plane, I'm sure, with a round win.
Yeah, he'll also be very excited though, mate. He's going to head off and drive the new 997 Carrera Cup car. So, look, he's going to be very competitive over there. There's no 2 ways about it. He's had a bit of an up and down weekend, but he'll bounce back from that.
Luke Yordan just struggling for a little bit of grip there through turn 2 over the crest. Down the hill there, Fitzy just stretched the legs a little bit there. And is there anything that Fabian you think might be able to pick up from driving driving that car, anything that he can actually translate to his car when he comes back?
Look, at the end of the day, I guess every time you hop in a race car, every time you go on a new circuit, you're learning something. So you can never say you're not going to learn anything.
There's Jim Richards, and he was just squeezed wide. I think it may have actually been Fabian Coulthard. It was just up in front of him there. It was one of the Glenford Tools entries. So Jim ran wide, but he's back on and hasn't lost too much ground out of that. But David Reynolds comfortably out in front now, a couple of car lengths. Let's have a look at a replay of the start, and you can see that Reynolds' launch just didn't really get too much wheel spin. It bogged down slightly, but once it gripped up, he went right round the outside, and Peter Fitzgerald got quite a handy start there too. There's a slight bit of contact between him and Luke Youlden.
Yeah, he's certainly got the combination right, because it's very easy. If you sidestep the clutch too quickly, you get too much wheel spin. But on the other hand, too slow, very, very easy to bog them down as well. And that's what happened to Webby. He's come off the clutch, car's bogged down, and he's been swamped into turn one.
That was a sign of a confident driver too, David Reynolds, because he just went straight across the nose of Peter Fitzgerald. He said, I've got the overlap, I've got the momentum, you need to lift off. So very sort of confident move there. And looking at the back there, Peter Fitzgerald's pulling into the pit, so he's coming through, and we believe now, word from race control is it's a drive-through for a false start or actual jump start. So we knew that he actually got off the line well, not quite as well as David Reynolds, but perhaps with the downhill nature of the front straight here, Craig, he may have been rolling.
Yeah, very hard to start the cars here, because you can imagine you've got one foot on the accelerator, 1 foot on the clutch, downhill. It's very easy. Once the revs are up, the car starts vibrating for it to start rolling forward. So it's a hard call, but everyone's got the same playing field. It's all downhill for everyone. So it's one of the tracks that a lot of people get a stop-go penalty for jump starts.
Peter Fitzgerald would be absolutely teething over that one. He would be very disappointed, because he was up into the top four and is having a very good round, and he was capitalising on Fabian Coulthard and Jim Richards' misfortune as well.
Yeah, those two further back in the field making for a very interesting race. They both want to bag some points here, and this is where the experience of someone like Jim Richards really shines, when he's got to start further back in the pack. Very good at passing, and generally keeps his nose very clean.
One of the Honduras brothers there, that's Theo in the white Carrera Cup, as opposed to James carrying our onboard this weekend. And back at the front end of the field, Jonathan Webb has dropped off the back of Luke Youlden, but he's looking good for a round win though. If he can just keep it in that top three, he'll have the most amount of points for the week. Cam McLean now coming in for a very similar thing, I'd imagine. So has Fitzgerald and Cam McLean both been penalised for jump starts?
Yep, word is another jump start. So as we were talking about earlier, one of those things, Eastern Creek, you pay the price.
Cameron McLean was testing here also. He really hasn't had a chance to do a lot of testing laps, but he's very experienced in all other cars. So to be in the top 5, top 6 this weekend, he was looking good. So that's just going to ruin his weekend also. Well, James Conjuris there has just made up another spot on Theo with Stephen Bornas in the middle of them. So a little bit more for the perhaps the dinner table or the bar tonight. These guys have been going at it all weekend. So good to see them dicing. But James holds the upper hand at the moment. Bornas there just trying to latch right up in the back. He has a look up the inside. Very difficult part of the track to actually get a run and do anything with it. It quite narrows over the top of the crest here, and you can see back in behind. And there's Alan Gurr, another one of the young chargers in car number 6, is closed up onto the back of Jonathan Webb. So whether Webb's just playing it cool, being a little bit consistent, just trying to get a top 3, or whether he's maybe just struggling for a little bit of speed in this race.
Webby will certainly be getting some radio calls from the pits. Take it easy. You've got the round win in the bag. These two are getting very close. That's what Webby doesn't need. He doesn't need to be taken out. He knows a good second or third position in this race will give him the round win. So Andy McElroy in the pits will be giving him all the advice. There's no two ways about that.
Well, he's driving defensively now, because he's got a hard-charging Alan Gurr right behind him, who nearly actually caused a little bit of contact. We're on the final lap, and Jim Richards is the fastest man on the track at the moment, a 35.31, nearly as quick as his lap record in race 1, just getting up the inside of James Cressy. So he's definitely on a charge and trying to close that gap up to Bryce Washington in front of him. Deep into turn 2, and there's an incident, and that's actually Jonathan Webb, and it looked like Gurr off on the outside. So we're just talking about how he has to just hold station for that round win, and it sounds or looks like it's nearly come to grief on the last lap.
That is the last thing Webby would have been wanting. Here's a replay of it here. Alan Gurr looking up the inside. Gee, that's dangerous when you've got a round win in the bag. He's just let him go. got back on. He's very lucky there that there's no damage.
Well, he was up the inside, but it was certainly forceful driving by Alan Gurr. I'd say he's gone into maximum braking, but you got to take your hat off to this guy, David Reynolds. So we've had two winners that have never won a race in this championship before in Jonathan Webb, but it's David Reynolds' turn. The Formula Ford champion comes across the line in the Bob J T-Mart's entry. Well done, fantastic effort, and he's well clear. He's 3 seconds clear of Luke Youlden, who's been very consistent and puts his hand up. Jonathan Webb recovered to finish third. He'll take the round win. And David Reynolds very, very happy. So good on him, a great effort there. Jim Richards moved up into position 5. James Cressy, 6th. Alan Gurr, 7th. And Rodney Jane rounded out the top 10.
Dave, tell us about your first race win.
It was unreal. I got a brilliant start off the line. I was sitting in about 4th and I just jumped straight to the front first corner and just consolidated those times and punched out a good consistent race, and I just pulled away, got a gap, and it's mine.
After a shocking start to the season, the Grand Prix in Adelaide, a couple of big accidents, this must be beyond your wildest dreams.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a bit longer till I get actually on the podium, but it's been quite good. I had my first test day last week at Winton. So, yeah, my year pretty much starts now, I reckon.
Luke, a very consistent weekend.
Yeah, it was good considering we didn't really have the car speed that we probably thought we would have had after Perth. But, we soldiered on, got the results, and that's what you have to do when the car's not really going your way.
Jonathan, the youngest ever pole sitter, your first race win and your first round win. Doesn't get much better.
Mate, it's been a perfect weekend. Really, really happy. Car's been good from start to finish, and with Paul Cruikshank Racing looking after us, we're just going quicker and quicker.
Nervous times near the end of the race where you clashed with Alan Gurr.
It was very interesting. We didn't quite have the pace during the race, so we're just trying to keep it all together. And Gary made a bit of a move, a bit of a desperate last move in the second last corner, but that's the way it goes, and we're just lucky to hold on.
It was Jim Richards coming away from the door-to-door racing at Eastern Creek with an 18-point lead over Fabian Coulthard. Jonathan Webb showing that the championship is anything but a two-man race. He's 39 points down on Richards. Luke Youlden close enough to make an impact as well.